Welcome to Topic Time. Form numbers mentioned in Drug and Cosmetic Act are important in competitive exams. In this topic time, we discuss about sales related forms in Drugs and Cosmetics Act. Drugs and Cosmetic Act was passed in 1940 and the rules came into force in 1945. Before going into the details of form numbers, let's see the shortcut to remember that form numbers. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to remember. We can see two types of forms. One is application forms. Second type is license forms. Applications are made to the licensing authority by the person who need the license. Such forms can be called as application forms. And the license is issued by the licensing authority in license forms. As a shortcut, we can remember that form number starting with 19 is an application form. All form numbers with 19 are application forms. Similarly, all form numbers with 20 and 21 numbers are license forms. Let's see some other shortcuts. If you see a letter A in the form number, you can relate it to a restricted license. If you see a letter B in the form number, you can relate it to wholesaling. And if you see BB, that is double B in a form number, you can relate it to a vehicle. And if you see G and F in a form number, you can relate it to Schedule X. To remember these shortcuts, remember certain words. First word is air. Air contains A and R, from which you remember A for restricted license. Second word is blow. Blow contains B and W, from which you remember B for wholesale. Third word is bubbles in the vehicle. Bubbles contain two B adjacent to each other, and that sentence contains vehicle, from which you remember BB for vehicle. And the last sentence is fill the glass with extra care. Fill starts with F, glass starts with G, care starts with C. F, G and C are for Schedule X drugs. We can connect these words by a logic. While we blow air, there will be bubbles in the vehicle. So, fill the glass with extra care. By keeping these shortcuts in mind, let's see the exact form numbers and their purposes. First, we will see application forms. As mentioned earlier, application forms are related to the number 19. First form is form number 19. The purpose of form number 19 is to grant or renew a license for sale of drugs. While I say simply drugs, you understand drugs other than C and C1 drugs and drugs other than Schedule X drugs. That is all drugs other than that mentioned in Schedule C and C1 and Schedule X. Now form number 19A. As mentioned earlier, A is for restricted license. You remember the word air. Form 19A is used to apply for a new restricted license or to renew the existing restricted license. Now let's see form number 19C. 19 is an application for getting a new license or renewing the existing one for the sale of Schedule X drugs. As mentioned earlier, the letter C is related to Schedule X drugs. The number 19 is related to applications. If it is simply 19, that is related to license application for normal drugs. If it is 19A, it is related to license applications for restricted drugs. You connect the letter A with the restricted license. And if it is 19C, it is the license application for Schedule X drugs. You connect the letter C with the Schedule X. Now we will see the license issuing forms. As mentioned earlier, form numbers 20 and 21 are related to issue forms. If it is simply form number 20, then it is the license issue form for retail sale of drugs. If it is form number 20A, it is the license issue form for restricted retail sale of drugs. Here also you can connect the letter A with the restricted license by remembering the word air. Air starts with A and ends with R. A is for form number 20A and R is for restricted license. For sale of certain drugs, qualified person is not needed. In such cases, the person wish to sell such drugs can apply for a restricted license. The person holding that license can sell only such drugs which do not need a qualified person's presence. That restricted license is issued in form number 20A. Now form number 20B, it is related to the wholesale license. That is, license for wholesale of drugs is issued in form number 20B. We know number 20 is for license issue forms and the letter B is for wholesale. You can connect B and W. B for form number 20B and W for wholesale. To connect these letters, you can remember a word blow. B is the starting letter of blow and W is the ending letter of blow. B for form number 20B and W for wholesale of drugs. Now let's see some other license issue forms. First one is 20BB. We know 20 is a license issuing form and BB is related to vehicle. The license to sell drugs from vehicles is issued in Form 20BB. You can connect the letter BB with vehicle as said earlier. As mentioned earlier, you remember this connection with the sentence bubbles in the vehicle. The word bubbles contains two B, and you relate the word vehicle with motor vehicle. If it is 20BB, it is the license for selling drugs from a motor vehicle. And if we want to distribute drugs specified in Schedule C and C1, license can be obtained in form number 21BB. That is 21BB is related to Schedule C and C1 drugs. 20BB is related to normal drugs vehicle distribution, and 21BB is related to Schedule C and C1 drugs vehicle distribution. Anyway, you connect the letters BB with the motor vehicle. And we move to the next form of the session, that is form 20F and form 20G. As we mentioned earlier, G and F are related to Schedule X. You remembered this with the sentence, fill the glass with extra care. Fill starts with F. G is the first letter of glass, and extra is for Schedule X. F and G are related to Schedule X. If it is 20F, that is for issuing license to sell drugs coming under Schedule X category. But it is only for a retailing of drugs. But it is for the retail sale of Schedule X drugs. 20F is for retail sale of Schedule X drugs. And if we want to sell Schedule X drugs in wholesale, that license can be obtained in 20G form. We know 20 is license issuing form, and F and G are related to Schedule X drugs. From these shortcuts, we can remember the points. 20F is for Schedule X drugs retail sale. 20G is for Schedule X drugs wholesale. The first letter in alphabet is F, and the next one is G. So, start with the retail, then grow to wholesale. That is, retail is the first one and wholesale is the second one. F is the first one and G is the second one. You correlate these two. Next forms are 21, 21A and 21B. 21 is the form to obtain license for retail sale of Schedule C and C1 drugs. 21A is for obtaining license for the restricted retail of Schedule C and C1 drugs. Again, you can correlate the letter A with the restricted license. Hope you remember the word air. Now 21B. We know B is for blow. That is, B is for W or wholesale. Here 21B form is for obtaining license for the wholesale of Schedule C and C1 drugs. Thank you for watching Topic Time.